Tony Khan, this has been very AEW heavy, this edition of the WrestleHavoc Podcast. And a bombshell story came out, and it shocked a lot of people. I'm reading this again from the takedown on Sports Illustrated. They summarize things very, very, very well. AEW president Tony Khan tried to purchase World Wrestling Entertainment. The McMahon family had held majority ownership in WWE up until 2023, when it was sold to Endeavor, which eventually formed the current ownership group of TKO. Previous public filings stated that the Formula One parent company, Liberty Media, and private equity firm KKR were two of three other bidders for WWE. The fourth bidder, Khan, was unknown until this point, having his name redacted until recent court filings. Now it's been revealed, and it's certainly going to have wrestling fans talking. According to a report from Brandon Thurston of Post Wrestling, recent court filings disclose that Base 10, a company that is backed by Khan, also placed a bid for WWE when it went up for sale. The information is mentioned in an ongoing shareholder lawsuit filed in November of 2023 that alleges the merger process was unfair because Endeavor was believed to be the pre-selected choice by Vince McMahon due to an agreement with Endeavor executive Ari Emanuel, who guaranteed McMahon a role in the company. It's noted that while Khan is not mentioned by name in the complaint, the connection is obvious. Base 10 is the owner of All Elite Wrestling, a professional wrestling promotion that plainly would enjoy significant synergies with WWE, the filing states. SEC filings by WWE use, again, this is legal lingo, so I apologize if I pronounce this wrong, pseudonyms. Again, this is legal lingo. I don't know what the hell this says. For the four bidders, as KKR was a financial sponsor 1, Liberty was a strategic party 1, and Base 10 was a strategic party 2. Meanwhile, the SEC filing by WWE noted that strategic party 2 or Base 10 had indicated that it would need equity and debt financing partners in order to complete a transaction with WWE, obviously, because WWE, how many billions of dollars was that company sold for? I have no idea, but it was billions of dollars. Of course, you're going to go into debt. The report mentions that Khan declined to provide a statement and that the press inquiries for this report sent to AEW, WWE, and TKO were not returned. And then Sports Illustrated goes on to say, what if Tony Khan bought WWE? What would have happened? Okay, so this definitely sent a lot of, I don't want to say shockwaves because that's just putting it ridiculously, but a lot of people were quite shocked about this story coming out. I'm going to say this right here and right now. I'm not surprised whatsoever. I'm going to be honest. I am not surprised in any way, shape, or form that Tony Khan tried to purchase WWE. Everybody was trying to purchase WWE when the company was up for sale. Everybody was. Tony Khan is a big wrestling fan, and obviously he placed a bid in buying WWE. Obviously. But I'm going to say this right here and right now. As much as I like Tony Khan, and a lot of people like Tony Khan, a lot of people do, Tony Khan buying WWE would have been, in my opinion, the single worst thing to ever happen in professional wrestling. I'm going to be brutally honest. The single worst thing to ever happen to the professional wrestling industry. Why? And again, this is not a knock on Tony Khan, but this is basically a case of monopolizing the industry. One person having control of the two largest promotions in the United States. Regardless of whether or not you like Tony Khan or hate Tony Khan, you have to agree with me that this would have been bad for the industry. Because again, it monopolizes the business. You know, I do believe WWE obviously was still going to exist. Like if Tony Khan bought WWE, obviously he was going to keep it running. Because WWE is a money machine. It generates billions of dollars every single year in merchandise and the television contracts that they have. I mean, they got multiple television contracts across multiple different platforms here in the United States. If Tony Khan had bought WWE, imagine, like, what would the media rights landscape be? You know, he'd have access to the CW. He'd have access to, you know, Netflix, NBC Universal. Like, he'd have access to all of those platforms. It would have been a very interesting dynamic. But again, it's one entity owning the two major players in the industry. That's never, never, never a good thing. Look what's happening in Hollywood right now with the Paramount and Warner Brothers merger that's taking place. Warner Brothers was basically an institution in entertainment, an institution, and now they're being gobbled up by Paramount. They were going to get gobbled up by Netflix, and honestly, that probably would have been a little bit worse. It's still bad with Paramount, don't get me wrong. But, you know, it would have been worse with Netflix, considering, again, Netflix does not care a lot about the theatrical experience. They care more about the analytical side of, you know, their streaming service. Because at the end of the day, Netflix is a streaming entity. They never really cared about the theatrical experience. It's kind of the same thing here in a way. Like, imagine if Tony Khan had bought WWE, what would have happened? People are saying, oh, he would have ran WWE into the ground. No. If Tony Khan bought WWE, I think he would have run it. He would have ran WWE exactly how WWE is being run now. I actually believe that. Because in WWE, there is a structure in WWE. There is a corporate structure, and there is a structure that is there in place for WWE. He would have kept it afloat because he would have known that, hey, look, WWE is literally making us billions of dollars. Why the hell would I change anything about this successful, you know, business? Why would I change it? I have this business that I like running, but I also have WWE as well, and I'm going to make money on it regardless. But still, Tony Khan buying WWE, in my opinion, would have been a horrible thing for the industry. Horrible, horrible, horrible thing for the industry. It also would have been, in a way, kind of hilarious and pretty much shocking, like a competitor buying the industry leader, a number 2 buying the number 1. Nobody's ever seen that. And I'm going to go even further and say, if Tony Khan was actually successful and WWE accepted his bid, in a way, he kind of would have been a modern day. And no, I'm not going to say he is like Vince McMahon, because he is not. I'm only comparing him to Vince McMahon in terms of his expansion and his, you know, his business mind in terms of expanding the WWF in the 80s. It kind of would have been something similar to that. But again, Tony Khan is no Vince McMahon. You know, he's just not. All the good qualities of Vince McMahon, you know, from like the promoter side of Vince McMahon, like Tony Khan does not have that. Tony Khan is Tony Khan. He is. But in terms of like, you know, expanding and buying the industry leader, like it's very, you know, it's very interesting to see where things could have gone. But again, it wouldn't have been a good thing for the industry. And I know a lot of the diehard AEW fans would have been like celebrating. Do not listen to those fans, because they're not fans of professional wrestling. They're not. They will tell you that they are, but they're not. And I know they're going to get mad at me for saying that, but they're not fans of professional wrestling. They only care about their own promotion. They don't care about the health of the industry. They would have celebrated like crazy. But still, this would have been bad for the industry, but it shocked a lot of people, but I'm not as shocked as a lot of other people are. Like, I'm just not as shocked. But yeah, that's the story on Tony Khan possibly buying WWE a couple of years ago.